Welcome back to the studio. We are here at our IELTS teacher, IELTS expert, Minh Đức, and we're going to continue the talk about study plan and also some approaches for students and teachers. So I see there is clearly, a common issue that a lot of parents are sending their kids to IELTS centers, but unfortunately they don't see an effective results, and they send their kids at a very early age. So what do you think is the problem?
I'm guessing that the classes that they send their children to are still relying on traditional methods, which is student monologuing throughout the whole lecture.
Yeah.
I really don't think that the traditional teaching method works with learning a new language because it kills children's love for the language and their curiosity to explore the language further themselves. So I really do believe that students need enjoyable and digestible content to learn English well. And I think this is where parents can help too. But parents, you guys need to be very smart and subtle about this. Don't rely on fear tactics to force your kids to study. And really get to know your children. Try to find out what their hobby is, what they like to read, what they like to watch. And from there, you can buy English materials. Like it can be as simple as buying them English comics, or buying them in English movies and watch it with them with English subtitles on. In a way, it's like you're tricking your children into getting better at English without them even knowing it.
So apart from, having a mentor or a teacher at an IELTS center, self-learning in IELTS, I think, is really important as well. So what would be the study plan that you suggest for the beginners?
I think they have, obviously, they will need a very concrete study plans. There need to be steps, very details of say how many hours or how many tests I'm willing, how many mock tests I'm willing to take in one day. They have to determine where they are at the moment and the course of actions that they need to take to arrive at their desired place. So for example, if, as I said earlier, IELTS is a language test, so say in the listening portion, if you are only at say 5.0, which means you probably understand like 40% of the audio file. Now you want to get to say 70% and 80%. What are the steps that you need to do to go from 40% of comprehension to 70% of comprehension? So I think the obvious strategies are dictation, right? Or simply listening to the audio file again. Look at new words that you don't know. And you have to be very strict with yourself about this. You cannot cheat yourself. So you know that you have to look at these new words to move closer to your goal of 70% comprehension, right? Then you need to take it seriously. You are studying it for yourself, and you are not studying it for your parents. And I think that's the mindset that you have to ingrain it in you.
So first up, mindset. So what are the other steps?
I would say find a good English centers because as we said earlier, for passive skills like reading and listening, I do think that they can improve that by a lot if they are hardworking at home. But as we discussed earlier, right, you need someone with knowledge and who is conscientious to help you improve your speaking and writing so they can point out your area of weaknesses. So I think the second step would be finding a good IELTS center with good teachers.
So what is some recommendations and advice and some key takeaways that you could offer to the students and a lot of people who are watching the show that wants to conquer the IELTS?
I've been thinking about this a lot ever since I started teaching because the question you asked me is essentially what you want to instill in your students, right? And I think I will bring back to my previous point, which is you have to realize what you are learning English for. Because if you are learning for your parents, then you can only go so far because you're not doing it for yourself. You have to know that if you want to get good at IELTS speaking, you have to get good at expressing yourself in English. You have to be yourself in English. And it will take a lot of practice. But you have to realize all the obstacles that you're going to face, and you have to accept it. And you have to realize that you're doing it for yourself. So like, for example, for me right now, I'm sitting across from you. and I can be myself. I can express my own opinions in English, and that is the ultimate goal. So just realize that you are learning English for yourself, not for everyone else. Your parents may be forcing you, but I think later on in life, everyone will realize that it comes from a good place, and they also want you to be able to be yourself and have good opportunities. That's why they are forcing you to study.
Wow, okay. So the mindset is super important.
Yeah.
So in every show we have a myth, and today's myth about IELTS. Parents who are not fluent in English cannot help their children learn IELTS. Mythbuster, what do you think?
Okay. I think there is a tiny bit of truth in this statement. Obviously, parents who are good at English can better monitor the progress of the English learning journey of their children. But that is not to say that parents who are not good at English cannot help their children. I think there are two things that parents who are not good at English can do to just facilitate the English learning process for their children. First, they can help establish English learning routines and habits, but they need to set the bar very low on this one. So according to study, 15 to 20 minutes of exposure to English content per day is suitable for kindergarten children. And it can be as simple as letting them watch an English cartoon or an English song. And this duration of 15 to 20 minutes can be increased incrementally as the children age. And I think by the time they are in secondary school, they should get at least about 1 hour of exposure to English materials per day. And the second one, I think, is be their companion. So what I mean here is just don't be a bystander. Ask them about what they learned today, and maybe ask them to explain it back to you, because if they are able to explain it, the knowledge that they learned in class back to you effectively, that's one more time learning, right? And they will memorize the knowledge better. And just take part in whatever English activities that they are doing. Maybe just watch them play the game that they are playing, or join them in an English movies with English subtitles.
I totally agree.